Hey guys, so we're going to get started with the temperature gauge now. I'd first like to kind of just show you physically what it looks like and then explain a little bit on the points and things of that nature. These are not too complicated to get apart. The needle just simply pulls straight off, and then the face will come off with just a little bit of pulling or prying around the edges. Hopefully after this video there's no need for you to do that, because the hardest part about putting them back together is to make sure the needle is properly lined up from a start position, if you will. So let's get started. This here is just a temperature gauge. I've had it apart a few times, just kind of playing around with it. You see the paint on the needles coming off. So that's just another reason, really, to avoid fooling around with these. The temperature gauge has 2 points on the back, and we can explain these in some additional videos here in a little bit. But I went ahead and marked these 2 points according to all the schematics you'll see out there. The point on the left is A. This is actually the incoming voltage that this sensor runs off of, basically. Then the point on the left is S. This is the sensor wire that is going to your block, basically detecting temperature. So if you do some reading online to the different websites I've mentioned before, what you'll find is that for the temperature gauge, and I've got this written down here, you can actually do some readings across the points as far as just reading the resistance to see if the gauge is still good. So from the 2 points, S to A, you should have a 19 to 21 ohm reading, and I apologize for my poor handwriting, but then depending on the position of the or depending on the temperature of the block, these are the resistances you should read from the temp sensor itself. So, and these are important because we're going to go through kind of a demo video here in a little bit on how this actually works and to make sure your gauges function and everything else before you put them in there. But if you have a digital multimeter, and really it's essential in order to do this, you're going to need one that can read down into the ohms. So I have a Klein's meter here. You'll notice if I just switch it over to ohms, down here in the corner, this defaults to milliohms. We're going to go ahead and switch it to just ohms. You see the M went away, and we're just reading in ohms. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. Set this down for just 1 second. There we go. So what I'm going to do is just touch the leads to both the points on the back and read the ohms. So you see that I'm reading, if I can hold it there, I'm reading 21.1, and you'll see that per all the information online, it's supposed to be between 19 and 21. So this gauge is still good. So that kind of wraps it up. We'll move on to the fuel gauge, and then we'll move into some demos to see if this thing's actually functional, and we can watch it work before we actually install it. Alright, thanks.